vagina looks so good. Welcome you, welcome me, welcome each other to my channel. If you are a returning baby, hey lover, how are you? If you are new, welcome to the space. My name is Malia Swopes. I love all things sensuality, sexuality, spirituality, lifestyle, beauty, everything in between. That is me, honey. I know it has been a while since I have been here. I'm not even gonna waste any time. We're gonna cut to the chase and we're gonna get into the video. But before, do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to your girl because we have a lot to discuss. We got a lot of things coming, okay? So let's get into the video. Okay, so let's just go ahead and hop into everything. Obviously, the elephant in the room is that I have not been here for a minute, okay? And I know that. There was a lot going on and we're gonna talk about it. Don't mind me. I have my phone right here because I gotta take some notes, child. I had to take some notes so I can fill y'all into everything that's going on, okay? Or everything that went on, rather. Today, I'm just doing a natural look on my face, just something real simple and easy. Now, I say that, but something in my mind says otherwise, okay? But we're gonna see. We're gonna see how we do. So for starters, I'm gonna go in with my Maybelline Matte and Poreless foundation. I just put everything in one area instead of distributing it evenly, but that's fine because this is a natural look. So for starters, let me take you guys back to when I was filming, okay? When I was filming, I was knee deep in caca, knee deep in craziness. At the time, I had just gotten out of a pretty rocky relationship. And so I was really in a space of wanting to just find peace. Like, your girl just wanted to find some peace in her life. And so at the time, I was going to Aveda Institute for like estheticians and cosmetologists and stuff like that. So that's where I was at. That's what I was doing. And I was in what I would like to coin as a financial crisis. So with that, I was in a space where we were really living on hopes and prayers. Like when I was filming, when I was my most consistent with like makeup content and stuff like that, I was genuinely at my financial lowest. That's with me like taking makeup clients. I was trying to work like all these little dead end jobs and stuff like that just to make ends meet. Because like when the relationship ended, and maybe I'll do another video on this, I don't know. But when the relationship ended, at the time I wasn't working per his request. I wasn't working, and at the time I was full-time in school. I wasn't working, and so once I graduated, that's around the time when we split. So we were fresh out of college. None of the jobs that I had applied for took me on. And so I was real desperate. And so if there's one thing about Malia, she's gonna figure it out. And so I did figure it out, and I figured it out because, you know, my dad, thankfully, this was honestly my saving grace. My dad was or is a retired veteran. That GI Bill came in clutch for your girl. So honestly and truly, I was living off of my GI Bill until I figured out like what to do. So that's all the things that were going on, or not like all of them, but you know, that's the gist of like where we were at. So I was in school, we were struggling to make ends meet. And I turned to makeup because it was the one thing that kept me very grounded. It was the one thing that centered me. Like, without me doing my makeup every day or as often as I was doing it, I felt like I was a fish out of water a lot of the times because I would just feel so disconnected, like, to myself and all of that other stuff. So I ended up having to move in with my parents at the end of 2017. And so that's when you guys saw my regular, like, background of basically you guys were in my bedroom, and all of that stuff. I'm debating if I want to highlight or not. Let's highlight. I'm gonna use, what is this? Chestnut, deep chestnut from e.l.f. And I'll make sure to tag, like, all of the products I'm using down below. But like I said, this is gonna be a relatively easy look. LOL, relatively easy and simple. So I'm not gonna be doing a whole lot. So I had to move back in with my parents. And so that's why you guys were seeing, like, y'all were basically in my bedroom, all of that good shit, having a great time. However, what ended up happening when I had to, or when I decided to just stop filming, I had to surrender my car. So the car that I was driving was a gift from the person I was with in my last relationship. And because of that, okay, he was paying for it. This just goes to show the old, like, telltale thing where, like, you know, your mom, your aunt, like, whoever, they'll tell you, like, don't depend on no man for nothing. Like, you make sure you got your shit. You make sure that you, did I get something on here? Crazy. You make sure you have, like, your stuff. You make sure that you are all set up, right? Let me be the poster child. Let me be the poster child, please, please, please. Like, please. Like, I know he may be the bee's knees, but girl. So anyways, I had to give up my car. Like, I had to give up my car. So I had to give up my car. I ended up having to file for bankruptcy because of it. And so it was a whole lot, because, like, the thing is, I'm missing so many parts because I don't want this to be super long. But the thing is, after I was at Aveda from February to October. I couldn't finish because I couldn't afford to finish. That's it. I couldn't afford to finish. So because of that, the stipend, no more. That's it. So I was really trying to figure out what to do to, like, pay my bills, pay the car, all those other kinds of stuff. Still needed to, like, move out of my parents' house because, like, that's a whole nother, like, situation in itself. Like, me and my parents do not have a good relationship. Like, I would not recommend it for other people. And that's how I know that, like, it's just not the best of spaces. Like, it's just not. So I was trying to figure all these different things out, but hello, people weren't hiring me. Either I didn't have the experience to be hired for the degree that I went to get, right? People weren't hiring me because either I did not have the experience to work for them, or, like, at the time, like, that's not what they were looking for, or whatever, okay? Whatever. They just weren't hiring, girl. Like, they just were not hiring. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. Like, I need money. So I ended up giving up my car. Like I said, I gave up my car. I got a job at Charlotte Russe. So I was like, okay, here we go, Charlotte Russe. Then I also started picking up shifts at, like, the local Longhorn. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, we're getting somewhere. Great, fine. Still had to give up my car. Like, I was not making enough. I was not making enough in either jobs to keep the car. So that was that. Very devastating. I was so embarrassed and just felt like, and the thing is, I was embarrassed for myself. Like, I wasn't embarrassed in the sense of, like, oh, I'm comparing myself to other people. No, I was embarrassed based on, like, the standards that I had set for me. Like, I know where I wanted to be. I know how I wanted my life to go. And, like, this just was not it. So I ended up like having to use my mom's car to get to and from work. I ended up finding another job at a call center. One of the messiest jobs I've ever been at, child, but it was a whole lot of fun. I may do, oh, this is a Juvia's Place, the Warrior 2 palette that I'm gonna be using. But when I say that was the messiest job I have ever had in my life, but it was so much fun. It was so much fun because it was so messy. And what like pissed me off during that time was the fact of like, okay, I now have a pretty good paying job, okay? It is very, very taxing, like ridiculous taxing. Like my mental capacity during this entire time was so rough. Like, ooh, it was so rough. So I had a good job. It was messy, girl, but we were having a fun time regardless. And I still had to file for bankruptcy. We were figuring life out. I was catching up on stuff, like working my way through everything, thinking, okay, I can make this work. No, still had to file for bankruptcy. So I filed for bankruptcy literally on my 25th birthday. That's how the dates fell. And that was so devastating to me because it was just like, I'm 25 years old. I'm going to all of these different like people to ask them questions like, what about debt consolidation? What about, you know, like, can we work out a payment plan? Can we do these different things to like make it work so I don't have to do this thing? No. And what's so fucked up, well, I'm trying not to curse. What's so messed up now is that when I went to go talk to people, like now, present day, like after the fact, after everything is said and done, oh, well, you know that there were other ways, like there were other like resources you could have used. Says who? Says who, right? But whatever, it's too late. Like, it's too late now. I don't care about the other options now because we're already here. So whatever, right? So I had to file for bankruptcy. And because of that, I was devastated. Like, that's it. I was devastated and I could not bring myself to, because honestly, YouTube for me is a very vulnerable space for me. Like, it's very vulnerable to me. This is one of the spaces where I can really be like my genuine, like open, just fun loving, very uncensored self. And it was just like, I couldn't bring myself to be that vulnerable because to me personally, it was just too much. It was just too much. I'm not big on oversharing. Like, it was just too much for me. And so that's around the time when I stopped filming altogether, but I never stopped creating content. Like, I was so sad, and it was so sad because like, it made me sad to know that like I was letting go of this form of like content and expression, knowing like how much I thoroughly enjoyed it. And like, it brought me a lot of joy. It really brought me a lot of joy. And I just could not bring myself to share myself at all. And so that made me really, really sad, but not sad enough to come back at the time. And so I didn't. Like, I really just stuck my head in the ground and I was just like, okay, this is where I'm at. And so we got to figure out how to basically make it work, make it fit. Like, how can I continue to create and, you know, do the things that I want to do? So with that, I had the job that I had, right? Still working at the call center. And fast forward, because I have not been here in 2 years. So like my years are just, my years are Milan. So don't y'all like this base? Ain't this base cute? She cute. You know what's really funny? I remember in one of my old videos, I was like, I don't think I'll ever be one of those girls who can do her base first and then her eyes. And now look at me. And now look at me. we're doing what first? Our base. I think I'm missing a brush, but we'll make it work. We will figure it out. Hold on, I gotta look at my notes, child. So like I said, I'm still working at the call center, and I think this was the top of 2020. I believe the top of 2020. Yeah. So 2020 rolls around and I get the flu. Straight up. I get the flu, to which now people would say that I had something else, but I tested positive for the flu at the time. And so I remember going to the doctor. I had like 104-degree fever, girl. It was crazy. And got my medicine. They told me to stay out of work for 2 weeks, this, that, and the third. Like, okay, that's fine. I can definitely stay out of work for 2 weeks. Like, I feel like boo-boo. So yes, I'm gonna stay out of work. So ultimately stayed home, recovered. Mind you, the day of, still sick, looking like I had the suds. Okay, if you watch SpongeBob, you know what the suds look like. And I look like that, okay? So, so looking like I had the suds, I turned in all of my paperwork about how I was gonna be out for the next 2 weeks, this, that, and the third, right? I come back after 2 weeks thinking everything is cool, everything is fine. Like, I'm just gonna get back to work. These people had me listed as a no-call, no-show for 2 weeks, which means I was on the brink of losing my job. So I go and I ask like one of the ladies, I was like, hi, it's showing that I am a no-call, no-show. Why is that? And she was like, oh, we don't have any documentation of you being out. I was like, did anyone reach out to me? She was like, no, it doesn't show that anyone reached out to you. And I was like, okay, well, I turned in my paperwork. Mind you, I went to HR. I asked her for all of my paperwork. She was able to give me all of my paperwork. Therefore, they always have had my paperwork. They just, I don't know. They just wanted to be something, some way, somehow. I don't know. That's none of my business now. So they had me listed as a no-call, no-show. So I was like, okay, so what do I need to do to fix it? They were like, oh, well, you have to go through all of these hoops. Like, I need to call these people. I need to sign additional documentation. I have to like make an appointment for something. Like, I had to do so much stuff. And to me, it was really giving, okay, so you want me to do your job. You want me to do your job, and I refuse to do it. Like, I refuse to do your job. I'm not gonna do it. Therefore, I just went ahead and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look for another job. Forget it. I'm just gonna look for another job. I had been there for almost a year. So once again, I was really irritated because I was like, why am I having to do this? Okay, what is going on? Now, I told y'all this is going to be a real simple and easy look. Y'all see this brush I got in my hand? Y'all, child, we about to make this a whole different situation. But anyways, I was like, okay, I'm just going to look for another job, whatever. So I looked for another job. It was a work from home job. Now, given what was going on at that, or what was about to hit that none of us really knew about, I was very thankful for this at the time, sort of, kind of. So I found a work from home job, cool, and I left. Literally, I was just like, y'all got me all the way fucked up. Like, y'all have me, I'm really trying my hardest not to cuss. Y'all got me messed up, yo. Like, I am not about to be, no, I'm not finna do y'all's job because y'all didn't file my paperwork the way that y'all were supposed to file my paperwork, or whatever y'all were supposed to do. Like, I'm not finna do that. No. So I left. I left in March of 2020. So sure enough, March of 2020, that's when the pandemic hit. And what's so crappy, I guess this is karma, I suppose, I don't know. What's so crappy is that when I was doing the work from home job, literally, I had panic attacks out of the wazoo. And at that time too, I was a 4X honey. So like, I was also pushing Forex and investments at that time. Like, my business has shifted so much. Like, when I think about it, my business has shifted like crazy. So I used to be a Forex honey, like P150, P600, like the sign up fees, all of that stuff. Oh my gosh. Like, I would be pushing it at work and everything. Like, I was dedicated to attempting to get to the bag. The thing is, when you're trying to get to the bag in a way that's not for you, you're not gonna get that bag, baby. You're just not gonna get the bag. And that's what I learned back then, okay? So, okay, left that job. At the time, like I said, I was pushing 4X. I was doing a work from home job, having panic attacks out of the wazoo. Like, I thought that I was going to have to like go get medication. Like, I thought that I was really gonna have to do something. Like, I was in therapy at the time, talking to my therapist about it, and the topic of like medication had come to play. And so I was like, honestly, I would be open to it. Because listen, as much as I love talking about, if you follow me on my other socials, which if you don't, you totally should, essentially_divine on Instagram. I'm really into like talking. I'm more open about like my spiritual practice now. And so, you know, I love talking about the spiritual things. I love talking about, you know, all of that stuff very openly. But like, I am real cool with being real connected with God and also being medicated, okay? We can have a therapist. We can be connected to God. We can have our medication and we can be A-okay, all right? Do y'all see what's happening? I know y'all see what's happening. We're getting darker and darker with this look. This was not the plan, but this is where we're going. So this is just where we're gonna stay, okay? So I decided, fuck all of it. Like, just fuck all of it. And when I say fuck all of it, I truly mean that. I literally, the no call, no show that they attempted to put on my life at the call center, that's exactly what I did with this work from home job. I literally just stopped showing up because I couldn't show up anymore. Like, I genuinely could not show up anymore. Like, it was too much for your girl. So no call, no showed my way out of a job. Stopped doing Forex because I was like, I'm putting in all of this money into this thing and I'm not making any money from it. Like, I can be honest. Was it a great opportunity? Did I learn a lot? I learned a lot, and therefore it was a great opportunity. Yes. I made a lot of good connections. Yes. But did I make money from it personally? No, not really. So for what it is, it's teaching you a lot of good stuff. But for me personally and how I learned, it just wasn't the fit for me, and that's perfectly fine. So that brings us out to June or July. And I feel like I was just at a place where, how can I explain it? I feel like I was at a place where I just felt super lost. I'm going in with my Magic Mini by Juvia's Place now, just to do a little highlighteration. And then yes, I'm now a baddie who does her brows last. So there's that. I was just at a place where I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how this is gonna work. I'm living in my parents' house. This isn't the best place for me. However, oh, I'm missing a brush. Hold on. Okay, cool beans. We are back in action. What was I saying? I'm using an oldie but goodie, the Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade in ebony. I will never stop using this, I don't think. It's just been the good girl, okay? It really does what I needed to do. So there's that. The way I do my brows is so different now in comparison to how I used to do my makeup. Looking back to how I used to do my makeup, girl, I was doing big things with this face, okay? But anyways, like I was saying, I had just hit a point where I was just like, I don't know what to do. I Like, this job was not working for me. I wasn't making any money with Forex. I wasn't making any money, period. So I was just like, okay, so what do I do? So I literally just started asking myself questions, like, and really asking my inner child. Let's talk about healing. Let's talk about therapy. Like I had to let go of my therapist because I couldn't afford to go to therapy anymore. And so I really just had to go. I had to go within. Okay? And I just started asking myself, like, okay, we are here. What do we do now? Like, how are we going to make this work, right? So I started asking my inner child, like, what do you want to do, Ma? Like, what do you want to do? What is the thing that you want to do that feels the best for you, that you just know will set you ablaze, like, every single day, right? I'm also gonna do something really weird. I'm about to use my mascara on my brows because I do my, fun fact, I fill in just a touch, and then I go back in with my mascara to like darken and just kind of place a little. I like to mix the color, but I refuse to. I just like to add a little bit of color with a darker like pomade or like a darker something, you know what I'm saying? So I don't do a harsh brow like I used to, which is so crazy to even consider that I don't do anymore. So I was just like, okay, girl, so what do you want to do? Literally, I did a meditation, said a prayer, and was just like, okay, whatever comes, we're just gonna let it flow. Look at how beautiful that is. Ugh, gorgeous. And so I ended up going on, was it YouTube? I'm sure it was YouTube. I went on YouTube one night and I was just like, you know, something that always has made me happy. Something that's always made me happy is I've loved the idea of going into therapy, right? And so I was like, okay, cool. Still had some money from my stipend to like go back to school. So I literally was just asking myself, like, what are the things that I like to do when I was younger? What are those things that used to light me up? And so I was like, well, I love to dance. And it's like, well, girl, I love to dance too, but I'm not gonna become a stripper right now because the clubs, we don't have any clubs nearby, and we also don't have a car. So we really need to figure out something else. So I was like, okay, what's next? It was like, okay, I love to go into psychology. I love to go into therapy. I was like, okay, cool. I found a program with Capella University for marriage and family therapy, girl. I did that for all of, I think, 4 months, and I hated it. I was like, oh, this is terrible. I hate learning about this shit. I'm leaving. Also, it became like super expensive out the middle of nowhere. So you know, there's that. I was like, okay, cool, I'll let that go, which ended up putting me in more debt. Like we needed any more of that, but whatever. So I was like, okay, that's not working. We have to figure something else out. And so I remember I was doing something. I can't remember exactly what I was doing, but I remember that I was like working on something. I was reading a book, and it was by Eric Jerome Dickey. Ugh, rest in peace, Eric Jerome Dickey. That was my favorite author. Oh my gosh, he still holds the top spot. I can't even front. He still holds the top spot, okay? So I was reading one of his books, and I remember thinking, like, I have loved all things that have to do with like sex and fertility and birth work and all these different things. You know what I'm saying? I've always loved stuff like that. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's see what we can find in that realm. And I was like, well, I mean, I don't want to go to like, I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a nurse. Like, none of that. This eye is really like bothering me over here. Okay, but I was like, I don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to be like a doctor. I don't want to be a midwife. Like, none of those things like fit me. But I was like, I love birth work. Like, I love birth work. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna look into birth doula. What is a birth doula? how that is. So girl, I ended up in a rabbit hole of just, what is a birth doula? How do you get certified? All these different things. So I was like, okay, this is it. Like, ooh, this is it. Went to sleep that night and I had a dream that I was being told, like, birth work is last. You gotta find what's first. So I went, I was like, okay, cool, I have to find what's first. This is when I started getting into more like spiritual things. And like I said my prayer, okay, because I'm gonna be covered, baby. I'm gonna be covered when we doing all this stuff, okay? So I got a reading done from one of my favorite practitioners. Still love them. They are so amazing. I've loved seeing them grow on TikTok and stuff over the last couple of years. It's been so beautiful to see. So I got a reading from them and I was like, okay, I don't know what the fuck is going on in my life, basically. So like, help a girl out. You get what I'm saying? And at the end of it all, they were just like, well, what is something that you love to do that you just feel like you would never get tired of? And I was like, well, things that have to do with self-love. Now, things that have to do with self-love. Now, mind you, right, at the time, like I said before, we were doing a lot of makeup stuff. We were doing a lot of makeup, a lot of things that centered around like beauty, self-care, connectiveness, stuff like that, because that's what makeup was for me. I'm gonna go in with my Airspun. Let me tell you something. I love me some Airspun. Airspun loose face powder. I go in very lightly because Airspun will get you if you are not careful, okay? I go in very lightly. I tap it off and then we go, even that to me is too much, okay? But I went in with the notion of just like, okay, here we go, like self-love, whatever that is, keeping in mind that, okay, birth work is last, so I have to find like what is first, okay, whatever that means. So funny enough, I went back on to the good old use of tubes and I just got to searching. I just started searching for different stuff. So went back, watched some doula stuff, like birth doula, because I was like, I like the idea of a birth doula. Okay, I'm really feeling it. Like I'm really feeling it. Okay, and so I'm just like, so how do I, get that popping? Like, what do I need to do? All that. And then I saw a video talking about a sex doula. And I'm like, what is a sex doula? What is that? Okay. But something about it just felt really, it felt like, yeah, that feels good. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I went in and I started, since I saw that one video, I was like, okay, cool. What is a sex doula? What is that? So I did all this research on it. I found the National Black Doulas Association, and they had an opening as a sex doula literally going the next week. And I was like, okay, this feels good to me. I'm just gonna go for it. Like, it was literally my last little bit of money. Like, when I say my last little bit of money, I mean like my last little bit of moolah, okay? And I was like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm set on, and like, this has to work for me. It feels good to me. It makes sense to me. It fits the things that I enjoy, that I love to talk about. So like, this has to be it for me, okay? So I went, I did my certification, gave my last. Like, when I say that this whole journey has just been me, my prayer, and the last bit that I got, like, it really has been that. So then I ended up going through my certification. I got certified and I was like, okay, we finna start this business, baby. We finna start this business. Well, we started the business, which is great, but like, the clientele did not show up. The clientele did not show up. at all. Like, did I have clients? Am I thankful for my clients? Absolutely. Okay. I love my clients. I was doing, which this is what made it so fun for me, because I was able to incorporate like tarot. I was able to incorporate like my enchanting oils. I was able to incorporate all of the different things that I had learned through my certification. I was really, really, really able to put together sexual, spiritual health. And like, that is what just made me so happy, because I just feel like, to me, being connected with yourself in that way is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So that was that, but we still got bills, baby. We still got to make money. So that brings us to, that's all of 2021. So all of 2021, I was trying to figure my life out. I was trying to gain my footing in this new sexual wellness space, and with the clientele that I did have, trying to make that work, doing my best to make that work, getting closer to my spiritual practices, and just immersing myself in what ease, rest, and fulfillment looked like. I felt like 2018 and 2018 was survival mode. 2019 was the breakdown. 2020 was like the start of the reconnection to myself. 2021 was like full throttle, what it looks like, what it feels like to be and cultivate in a space that feels good, that is comfortable, that is exactly in alignment with what I enjoy. That was 2021. And so that's what I did all of 2021. Coming into 2022, I have been thinking about coming back to this space since 2021. But I was like, I know that I am not in a headspace. Well, I'm getting to a headspace where I want to be able to sit back here, because like I said before, this is a very vulnerable space for me. And so I was just like, okay, I'm going to give it some time. If it comes back around, I'll come to it. Sure enough, the top of 2022, I was talking to someone and they were like, you should do YouTube or something. And I was like, there we go. I ended up having that conversation. I was like, okay, I'm gonna come back to it, but I'm gonna come back to it in the way that feels the best for me, right? So at the time, I had another job. I had gotten another job as a financial advisor. That was a dud. I'm gonna do a video about scam jobs one of these days. I'm gonna do a story time about the scammy jobs that I have had in my life, because baby, like, it's crazy. So we had another breakdown. We had this job. It was recommended through like someone who was close to me. They were also like in a scam situation too. Like, we were both scammed, like low-key. So then I'm like, okay, what do I do now? It's really just seemed like every single time that I would veer off, something would happen that would just like break down. And I'm just like, okay. But went through that whole moment, going back in the process of, getting things back together. And then in March again, March has been, over these last couple of years, March has really been a pivotal month for me. March comes around, my parents are like, hey, you got to figure your life out. You got to prepare to get gone. Like, you need to move out. Okay. You need to skedaddle, basically. And I was just like, okay. They were like, well, what are you going to do? I don't know. I'm not even going to tell y'all, because I don't know. First of all, I don't know. 2, it's just going to happen. It's just going to happen, period. And that's it. And so I put the pedal to the metal. I got my life together in a sense. Like, this is we're in July. I'm talking about March. So March, had that conversation with them. April, May, still out of a job. June, got a new job as a relationship banker, which that's doing its thing. I thoroughly enjoy it. And that's been able to afford me to certain things. It's been a great resource for me to do certain things that I've been able to accomplish. And the work that I have been doing as a sex doula has been like my side hustle. So my side hustle has just been that, you know. I'm gonna put on my lashes and I'm gonna finish the story and then we're gonna wrap this up, okay? Okay, obviously lashes are on, but also we got dressed. So I had to get dressed. Come to find out, I actually do have something to do after this. So that's what we got ready for. But nonetheless, like now, I don't even remember all that I was saying. But anyways, I now have a new job that I enjoy. My side hustle is still my side hustle for now. Making the side hustle the main hustle, the career, the longevity, that is the goal. So, you know, that's what we're going to continue to go with. What else is going on with me? I've just been really networking a lot. My mental health is a lot better. I feel a lot stronger. I just feel overall like like how I feel now is how I wanted to feel in the beginning. Like in the beginning of my journey, that's where I wanted to be. And so did it take a little minute? Yes, but that's okay. We have a new job now that's afforded me to do some things. And even before I got this job, like earlier the year, I was able to take some trips to New York and LA to meet my closest friend and to meet my godfather, and just connecting with a whole lot of people and just being able to explore, like I said before, explore and cultivate a space that feels fulfilling. It is full of ease, and I get all the things that I need while still being able to give all that I want to give and being able to serve in a way that makes me happy. I am where I am now versus where I have been. Like, I do not regret stepping away and disconnecting from social media and YouTube. I don't regret it at all, because I know if those intimate moments of me would have been online, I would have regretted those moments being online versus them not being. So, you know, making the necessary choices, doing the necessary things that I had to do to take care of me. Now I'm in a better space, and I pray, I hope, fingers crossed, that you guys are still rocking and rolling with me. You guys are still willing to follow this journey with me, because I would love to have you guys along the journey, you know? You guys saw the first part. Y'all didn't see like the down in the dumps part, but boy, do I have stories to tell y'all. But that is where I am. That is where I'm currently am. I'm in a space of just loving my life and feeling better overall. And that is what it is. And that is how I am able to get in front of you guys today and chit chat and, you know, get ready and get cute. Because I definitely said that this was going to be like a real casual something, but somehow we ended up here. I didn't add a lip. But, you know, I'm thinking about adding a lip, but I don't know. I may just do a little extra gloss. I love some gloss. I need to buy some more. Listen, if you are ever confused, go to the beauty supply store and go get you some gloss. Stop going out and buy. Look at that. Look. So I am happy. I am back. I will be uploading on Sundays. I'm thinking about uploading on another day, and adding some additional content and getting more consistent and, you know, coming back into the forefront of the things, because we love a good, present, consistent queen. We love that. So I will keep you guys in the loop. If you want to know any updates regarding my uploads, make sure that you guys are following me on sensually_divine on Instagram. All of my socials will be down below. All the ways that you can find me will be down below. I also have a podcast, so I may bring the podcast to YouTube. We gonna see. Okay. But if so, listen, the podcast is such a fun time. It's where me, as the sex doula, as the person, as the sensualist, as the goddess, okay, I really get to have a fun time and bring in my friends and my colleagues, and we have a good fun time. So I would definitely leave that down below as well. Is there anything else? Nope, I don't think that there is anything else. I will catch you guys in the next video. Do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you are new, if you are an oldie but goodie, thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming, and I will catch you in the next one. Catch y'all next Sunday.